Aku fotonya begini, ada di atas. are doing in our weekends or in our leisure time, like all these activities, like gossiping with friends, going to a shopping mall maybe, having some foods, or watch a movie. How many of us doing this? You can raise your hand. Yes, I do. We all do that. So back in 1998, I came to Dhaka. My hometown is Rajshahi, in the northern part of the country. I came 98 to Dhaka to study in this same university called the TEDxAIUB. Back then, Dhaka was a completely new city for me, like many new places to go. So I started exploring all these places in Dhaka. But life was as usual, you know how many places you can go in Dhaka for several years. And then after completing my graduation from this university in 2002, I joined the United Nations to work. And after over few years, I visited few more countries, like 6-7 countries. So I have visited many more places in those countries as well. I always like to like to taste their food, their culture, visiting new places. But as I said, life was as usual when I was in Dhaka. So I started going to all those different tourist spots, you know, Cox's Bazar, St. Martin's, Kuakata, all those popular destinations we know, Rangamati. But then, again, as usual, life was boring. So how many times you can go to Cox's Bazar? Nothing to do, right? One day in 2008, I was strolling in Facebook. That time Facebook already hit the market. So I was strolling in Facebook and suddenly one thing got my attention. Someone called Jaman Rahat Khan. This guy, yeah. So he ruined my life, yes, our lives. So he opened an event. I saw this event with a funny name called Sippi Arsuang. And I thought, what kind of event it is? The name is Sippi Arsuang. Then I checked and well, I found Sippi Arsuang is the name of a hill in Bandarban. And this guy is planning to go to that hill in the next weekend. And he is looking for some teammates. So I said, oh, well, let's do some adventure. I had no idea how the hill is in the Bandarban. So I met with him, we planned, and over next week, we 5 strangers, we started going to these hills, walking deep inside these Bandarban hill tracks in the deep forest. So over the next 3 days, we walked, and we walked. And we ate at the same place, we shared the same place to sleep. And with all this, I had a long discussion with Rahat. So I asked why you have opened this group or created these funny events. So he said that he is also facing the same problem like me. Not all of his friends share the same interest. Like not everybody want to go to the hills. Some just want to go to a nice hotel and rest for the weekend. Some want to go back to home. Well, that was the starting. We became very good friends after that. With our group, we had like few members only. So we started making plans that how to go, and then through Facebook we started collecting members. That okay, well, we want to go to this place, so who wanna go? So several people started showing up, and then we started making plan and to go to places. In the beginning, we faced a big problem. That was number one problem was to get people, like-minded people who don't care what to like, whether there is a nice toilet is there, high commode is there, no. Is there a restaurant there, KFC there, no. So this kind of thing, like-minded people who share the same interest, like okay, we'll go to that hill or we'll go to that island. Be there a nice hotel or not, doesn't matter, we'll go there. So by having this group in Facebook, we got rid of that problem. We got all the team members. We found there are like thousands of us who just don't want to spend their weekends in the city, in the same city life. They want to go somewhere else. But the second problem we faced was that the gathering team member was okay, But the second problem we found that some of the places we select that okay, we hear that there is a cave somewhere in Bandarban or in Khagrachori, or there is a nice waterfall there. So let's go to that place in the next weekend or after coming weekend. The problem we faced was that then what? We only know the name, or we saw it in Google Earth. So how can we go there? So we started finding for information, and we found that information is not there. It's only the name is there. There is no information how to go there, where to go. We can go up to Chittagong, then Bandarban, then what? Then where we'll go? And those people who knows those places, they don't want to share that information because they thought that they are the only one knows this waterfall or knows this hill. We became very much like sad, and then we decided that we don't want other people to face the same problem. So if we gather any information, if we found any information, from now on we'll share it in our group, and that will be open for everybody, free of charge. Anybody can use that information. So that is the starting. So we started sharing information. Sorry. So in the group, what we did, we planned for an event, and then we shared all this information, and then we started. And after coming back, we shared the photos and the destination. Okay, well, we planned like this, but we couldn't do that. So the route is like this. If you go like this way, it would be much cheaper, like easier to go. Then another problem arises. Over next few years, we became addicted with traveling. Every weekend, we had a plan to go somewhere. Okay, if there is no place to go, let's go to Lawachora, 3 hours in a train. In the night train, we go there, we spend the day and come back next day. So it becomes like addiction to us, and as like any addiction, it costs money. So it was very difficult for us to gather the cost, the expenditure of the trips. So many trips in a year. And we had like many students with us, some small childs, some older guys. So for some people, it was the difficulties to gather all the money. Then we thought, okay, well, let's make a strategy, make a plan. How can we reduce the cost? Then some of us came with an idea which called backpacking and camping. So with regular traveling, we included backpacking and camping in our traveling, in our plan. The plan is that wherever we'll go, we'll try to see if instead of using a regular shelter, can we use our tent or our shelter to sleep? Or is there a cave there where we can sleep? And about food, instead of taking foods from the restaurant, by the way, in many of the places there is no proper restaurant. So having food, making the food ourselves is much better in quality than the food in the roadside restaurant. So we thought, well, we'll take our food and we'll take our shelter with us, and whatever we need from our home, from our house. So we started taking like some rice, some lentils, making a food pack list, and we started hitting the trails. So after doing this, backpacking and camping, the funny thing is that the cost decreased, but in the same rate, the fun started increasing. Because it's a lot of fun making your own food, cooking. Believe me, cooking is fun, not in home, but in the jungle. So, and after you cook your meal, you must love it, because there is no other way. You have to love it. So in backpacking, we travel together in remote places, not only in Bangladesh, but in many other exotic places in the world as well. You can see this is a river which gets frozen in the winter. It is in Ladakh, Kashmir. Then we explore new routes using old maps and with Google Earth, and we plotted all these routes in the device called GPS. And then with the map and GPS, we started going to the hills. And we know where exactly we are. We don't need a guide to pay to the guide. And then we cook our food, very nice, very tasty food. And of course, the best thing is that we could sleep where we want to. We don't have to like go back, okay, this is a nice place. Why not we stay here for the night? Yes, we can do that. We slept inside a jungle. We could sleep in a nice place, exotic place like this. So this is what we did for camping and backpacking. Then in 2009, We came up with a website called Project Bangla Trek. We saw that all the information we are sharing in the Facebook group is getting lost. So we needed a place to share all the information systematically, categorically. So we launched this website, this Project Bangla Trek. The address is banglatrek.org. So where we keep all the information for different hiking, trekking destination, different islands, exotic islands, all this information. So soon, within few years, Project Bangla Trek not only became the holy site for the local trekkers, but it also got attention from many people from abroad. Whoever want to come to Bangladesh, they search for hiking or outdoor activities, and they got reference from Google about this site. So many people contacted with us. We have been referenced in the Lonely Planet website many times in their forum that, okay, well guys, if you are going to Bangladesh,